So today I want to share with you 20 of the top healthy food swaps that I have done over the last 2 years that have helped me to lose close to 90 pounds. So let's start with number 1. So the first food that I swapped out was an easy one for me. I swapped cauliflower rice for regular white rice. I don't even eat brown rice for the most part. Occasionally, if I'm somewhere like Chipotle or something, I'll go ahead and, get some rice, but really I try to stay away from it, at least while I'm on this continued weight loss plan. I still have, another probably 35, 40 pounds to go. So I'm trying really hard right now not to have a lot of rice or carbs or what have you. But eventually I am going to start working some of that back into my diet, and I'll show you what those things are when we get there, but we're not there yet. We still have several months to go. So the first thing was cauliflower rice for white rice. The second thing that I switched out was zucchini noodles for pasta. Now that's a really delicious and healthy swap. I didn't just do zucchini noodles. I found a real love for spaghetti squash. When you bake a spaghetti squash, you cut it in half. I just bake mine in the oven with little olive oil and garlic. And I'm not kidding. After an hour, you just scoop it out with a fork. And I think it's better than pasta. When the time comes when I can start adding carbs back into my diet, I'm not going to be adding pasta back in. I love spaghetti squash as a substitute. So if you haven't tried it, give it a try. It's the big yellow squash. It's delicious. You'll absolutely love it. The third thing that I have substituted and I absolutely love is Greek yogurt for sour cream. Now I could actually have some sour cream on Trim Healthy Mama, but Greek yogurt is higher in protein, it's lower in fat, it's just better for your gut health. And so I always keep plain Greek yogurt on hand. I also pretty much have an oikos yogurt almost every day. So give those a try. If you haven't tried it, you can make salad dressings with it. You can substitute it when you're making tuna or you're really making anything that you add sour cream to. It's really good. It's got a little bit of tang, so it's great for salad dressings. Number 4 is mashed cauliflower for mashed potatoes. Now, once in a blue moon, I'll be honest, I love mashed potatoes. I do have them like once every 6 months. In fact, I had them last night. But honestly, most of the time I have a big head of cauliflower in my refrigerator that I can either make cauliflower rice or mashed cauliflower for my recipes. This has worked out great for me because I do love cauliflower. So if you enjoy eating cauliflower, give it a try. Number 5 on my list is another one that is really, really easy for me, and that was lettuce wraps versus hamburger buns. Honestly, I have not eaten a hamburger bun in probably 2 years. Whether I'm out occasionally eating a hamburger, I go to Chili's and get their smash burger, I pretty much just eat the inside of the burger with a salad, or I just opt to get a salad for my whole meal. And I really choose not to eat any of the hamburger buns. I don't know in the future if I'll add that back in ever. I really don't miss it. And honestly, I don't eat much bread at all. I do plan on adding some sourdough bread that is homemade when this is all over and I start incorporating some small amounts of things back into my diet. I plan on doing some sourdough, and really that's about it. Not going back to those old white breads anymore. Number 6 on my list is ground turkey instead of ground beef. Now, I love ground turkey, but a lot of people tell me, oh, ground turkey, I don't like the flavor, I don't like the aftertaste, whatever. It is lower in fat, it's a leaner meat, it's much healthier than the red meat. But if you don't like it, these are the things that I would recommend substituting it in. Things that have a little bit more spice or a little bit more tomato. It does mask the taste quite a bit. So one of the things I always add ground turkey instead of ground beef is taco salad. Taco salad, once I add all the taco seasonings, you can't taste the meat anyway. All you taste is taco. Then if I make a meatloaf, sometimes I'll do half and half with half, ground beef, half turkey, just to give it that beefy flavor. And even if you just do a turkey loaf, they're really delicious if you add all the right seasonings and you're not a fan of turkey. So turkey for ground beef. Number 7 on my list is cottage cheese for Alfredo sauce. Now, let me tell you a little secret. Cottage cheese is your friend when you are on a diet. It is loaded with protein. If you get especially the fat-free cottage cheese, it's low in calories, low in fat, high in protein. You can't beat it. And now with all the recipes that have you take cottage cheese and put it into a food processor, you can't tell what it is anymore. Now, I love cottage cheese, period. If you put it on some Jell-O or I eat it plain, it doesn't matter. I love cottage cheese. But for people that aren't as fond of it, there's so many things you can do with it. You can make it into ice cream. You can make it into sauces. You can make it into salad dressings. You could use it in your lasagnas. I mean, it's the new cheese. It's delicious. So if you have challenges with the texture of cottage cheese, put it in a mini food processor. I have a little food processor I'm going to link. I have a little, I believe it's a KitchenAid food processor. Mine's in storage right now, but it is amazing. I throw a couple scoops of cottage cheese in, hit the mix up button there, and you can't even tell. It's so creamy and so lovely. So give it a try. Number 8 on my list is baked sweet potato fries instead of French fries. Now, baked sweet potato fries are delicious. If you like a little bit of sweet with the salty and all that, you're gonna love sweet potato fries, and they're a great, great, great swap versus your French fries. Number 9 on my list is air pop popcorn instead of potato chips. Now, I'll be really frank with you. I am not a fan of any kind of potato chips right now. It is way too much in the way of carbohydrates, fat. There's nothing healthy that comes out of it once your potatoes have been fried. And so I don't eat any potato chips. I just opt not to do it right now. If I'm going to substitute anything, it's going to probably be pork rinds because they're low in carbs and low in calories. But even those, I don't eat them very often. So that's a great option, is air pop popcorn versus potato chips. 10 on my list is mashed avocado instead of mayonnaise. Now, another option for substituting mayonnaise, I think, is sour cream, and another one is cottage cheese. Just blend it up, substitute it for the mayonnaise, you're golden. 11 on my list is rolled oats instead of sugary cereal. Now, again, I haven't had sugary cereal in so long, I don't even remember how it tastes. I used to just love kids' sugary cereal because I'm kind of a sugar person. Definitely, I'm more sugar than salty. So I used to love those Reese's Puffs and all kinds of, I used to eat all the marshmallows out of the Lucky Charms. I love sugary cereals. But I've gotten better at doing rolled oats. Now, if you're not a fan of rolled oats, a really good option for that would be to have overnight oats. You can put all kinds of fruits and chocolates and chia seeds and all kinds of things in it. And I'll tell you what, there's a brand on the market. It's new to the market. It's called Mush. It is a rolled oats. It is so good. Now, it is high in carbs. It's about 290 calories, I believe, but it was kind of high in carbs, but boy, is it ever good. So if that's an option for you, check it out. Number 12 on my list is apple slices with peanut butter instead of cookies. I mean, you can't beat apple slices with peanut butter. They're just so good. Now, if you're not a fan of peanut butter, have you ever had tahini on your fruit? the sprinkled tahini, Tajin. That's my standard way that I have apple slices. In fact, I love tahini so much that I make my apple slices, one apple, I could get like 20 slices out of it because I put a lot of tahini on. And they are so good. Like my mouth's watering right now. Number 13 on my list is hummus instead of a creamy dip. Okay, hummus isn't just garbanzo beans anymore. Hummus can be so many different flavors added to it. You can get the garlic and herb, you can get the red pepper, you can get just the regular hummus. You can get all kinds of different flavors of hummus. And if you haven't tried hummus, you're really missing out. It's really good. Number 14 on my list is an egg white wrap instead of a flour tortilla. Now, I don't think I have a viewer out there in YouTube land that loves flour tortillas more than I do. I love flour tortillas. I could eat them every meal, every day of the week. And back before I started my diet, I ate a whole lot more. Now, I'm honest with you. I'm not a fan of the egg white wraps, but I do love flour tortillas. So what I do is I go for the 0 carb tortillas, or I go for the low carb tortillas. And they even have a protein tortilla at Aldi that's very good. And I just don't eat them every day. So I may be I may pick up a package that I have for a couple of weeks, and maybe I eat half of the package. And a lot of times I will just kind of heat them over the stove. I have a gas stove. I'll heat them over that and just eat them that way. Sometimes I'll put some cheese on them. If I'm really craving something at night, a little bit of protein, I'll usually get rid of those cravings. But I just love flour tortillas. So check out the 0 carb tortillas. I think I usually get the Mission ones. They're very good. Number 15 on my list is berries instead of candy. Now, berries, you can't beat berries when you're on a diet. They are just so healthy for you. So I try to eat a selection of berries between blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, and blueberries. And I try to top things with them that I know I can actually eat even a little bit more in the way of berries. And they're kind of sweet. I don't put any sugar or anything like that on my berries, but sometimes I'll put them on cottage cheese. Sometimes I'll put them on Jell-O. Sometimes I'll mix them in the Jell-O while the Jell-O's setting. Occasionally I'll put them on a little bit of sugar-free pudding that I've made. I mean, that's also a really good option. I love pudding, and they do have some sugar-free pudding on the market. It's not going to be no carbs and no calories, but it's going to be much lower, and you're not going to have the sugar in it that you'd have in the regular puddings. So if that's something that you're open to, top it with some berries. You'll get double the pudding, and it will be really delicious. Number 16 on my list is substituting oil in your baking for unsweetened applesauce. Now, honest to goodness, once your cake is baked, you're not going to be able to tell that you haven't baked it with oil. And you're already going to have the eggs that are going to hold it together. You're still going to get the texture from all the other ingredients, but the unsweetened applesauce is going to cut down that fat significantly. So if you haven't tried it, try it. And if you're making like a spice cake or something like that, get an unsweetened cinnamon applesauce. That's even better. And again, I told you I love pudding. Another good substitute for pudding cups is your own homemade chia pudding. Now, I love pudding, and I actually make a lot of chia pudding. Chia seeds are really good for you. And when you combine the chia seeds with monk fruit sweetener, some of your favorite berries, and some almond milk, I mean, you have very low carbs, very low calories, but you really feel like you're getting a treat. And sometimes what I do is I take a blender, I mix the milk, the berries, the monk fruit till it's like a solid consistency, like a liquid instead of berries and all that. And I'll mix that with the chia seeds. Talk about a delicious pudding. Boy, that is so good. Give it a try. Now, the next one I'm talking to you about is something that I substitute sometimes in baking. Now, I'm somebody that loves meatloaf. I love all kinds of, salmon patties and chicken patties and all that kind of stuff. I don't like a lot of fried food, and I definitely don't want to go off my diet by adding a bunch of breadcrumbs to it. But you can substitute crushed pork rinds for breadcrumbs and get a very similar flavor when you're making meatloaf or something like that. So if you haven't done that, give it a try. Let me know what you think of it. Number 19 on my list, I kind of alluded that I do it earlier on another item that I was talking to you about, and that is cottage cheese for ricotta cheese. I've gotten to the point I don't use ricotta cheese anymore. I don't. I use cottage cheese when I make lasagna. It's just the way it is. I add some Parmesan cheese, an egg, my cottage cheese. I blend it up. You cannot tell that it's not ricotta cheese after it's already been cooked. It comes out absolutely delicious. Your lasagna, I've made it for guests and they have no idea they're not eating ricotta. So try cottage cheese. Give it another try. If you've been kind of no to cottage cheese, if you're one of those people that doesn't like cottage cheese, you know what? Give it a try. Give it another try. You might be surprised. And last but not least is something that I actually buy at the grocery store every single week, and that is sparkling water. You can drink sparkling water instead of sugary sodas and sweet teas and all those things that have so many calories and so much sugar. And because they do have a flavor in them, they do have like that carbonation, you really feel like you're drinking a soda. They're just so good, and they have every flavor you can imagine. I really love the orange vanilla flavor, and I like all different kinds, so I couldn't really give you a brand I like more than others. I always kind of go for the orange vanillas. I kind of like the cranberry ones. I like the raspberry ones. I just had some strawberry ones last week that were really, really good. So give those sparkling waters a try. If you haven't had them, they're very refreshing and very delicious. So I hope that gave you some ideas on some things that you can swap out. If you haven't found a diet that you're looking for, I've been following the Trim Healthy Mama program now for a couple of years. It's a simple to follow program. You basically separate fats from your carbs at your meals. So maybe one meal you have fats, one meal you have carbs. And I've been doing that. I've lost a lot of weight, and I am staying on the path. There's days I'm up, days I'm down, because, I'm a human being and I make mistakes sometimes. In fact, I've been out of commission basically for 2 weeks because I was visiting my son in Minnesota, and I just got back into my workouts this morning. Honestly, I thought I was going to die. It was like the day I started a year ago. But anyway, I got through it, and I actually added, 15 minutes of riding the bike. After that, I was pooped when I went home, but I felt really good that I did it, and I'm back in the saddle, and I'll be back there on Wednesday. I go Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you got something out of this video, and anyway, if you're interested in following Trim Healthy Mama, I've got a whole playlist of videos of Trim Healthy Mama recipes. Check them out. See if it's something you're interested in. It's an easy diet to follow. At least it has been for me. And I wish you success in your weight loss journey, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.